really don't have a whole lot of any information to amount to anything, and so we'll try to touch base with him through a break here sometime after a while. But I do want to thank Jeff and Jeff Parrott both for coming over and filling in for me there while I was ailing.
Well, we're glad to see you back.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody else is too.
Well, I'm hoping. I'm hoping they are. I had all the vaccines and stuff, and over since in the last year, and thought, well, hey, I'm gonna make it through this thing all right. And I'm son of a gun. If I went home on Tuesday evening 2 weeks ago, and I just could not get warm. I had 3 blankets on me, and I was sitting. I wouldn't, we've all talked how this thing works. If you don't lay down, stay. Sit in the chair, stand up, move around, but whatever you do, don't lay down.
But when it gets you, it gets you.
Yeah, and so I was in the recliner, and I was covered up and shaking from head to toe, and that went on for almost 3 days. And the Thursday afternoon, I kind of got to feeling a little better, and as the week went on, progressed, and so I went and got tested again on the following Tuesday, and it came back positive. So I had to miss 5 more days of work, or actually 6 more days, and went back in this past Monday. Everything's fine. So I'm hoping I'm on the mend, Jeff.
Hey, that's good. We know you wasn't fishing because you ain't got the trolling motor on that boat yet.
No, I wasn't fishing. That's for dang sure. I wanted to.
I wondered for a while though. I was like, oh, come on now.
Yeah, no, I never wear the line. I worked on the.
The weather's awful pretty though where you sit.
It was, and then turned around and come into the weekend. It got bad and cold again. I did get a new trolling motor for Christmas for my boat, and it's all mounted up. I wanted to take it to the lake and try it and make sure everything was going to work before I went any farther.
Before you cut that hole in your boat.
Before I cut that hole in my boat, yeah.
Mike's sweating bullets about that hole in that boat.
I know it, and so it's sitting there ready to go. But like Jeff just mentioned, I've not cut the hole in the deck to mount the Easy Troll pan in the front of the boat for the paddle, to recess it on down flush. But I wanted to get the thing to the lake and try it a little bit and make sure it's going to satisfy me, or put the old one back on one, and I think it's going to be just fine. It was, they ask a pretty penny for them, I'll tell you that. But that's just the way it is. And so, like I said, I'm hoping to get that thing out here maybe this weekend. Things going good with Mike and Cricket, and just run it a little bit and see how it's going to act and what it's going to do. I'm looking forward to it.
That Lorraine's supposed to be the cream of the crop.
I know.
That's what everybody's got their own opinion of all of
right.
it, but still,
it's
supposed to be the berries.
Yeah, I turned it on. I turned it on there in the basement.
Could you?
No, I had to make sure it was going to run. And turned that spot lock on, and it
didn't go a place in the dang basement, did it?
No, the boat didn't.
It stayed right there.
Yeah, it stayed right on it like it's
right.
supposed to do. But I'm looking forward to getting it in the water and seeing how it's going to act. I do know, I don't have any film. Mike went Sunday fishing. He only caught 1 crappie, but he told me a good fishing report. These guys, there was 3 of them in the boat down there, and they came in right as Mike was getting loaded up, and they were talking, and Mike said that there's 3 of them, and they had 30 crappie in the boat, between the 3 of them, and they were casting grubs.
I was going to say, that's what I heard.
Yeah, they were
small
casting
grubs about 15, 17 feet of water.
That's exactly.
And then with the live scopes, is still using that Bobby Garland and anywhere from 12 to about 20 feet of water.
Yeah. I think Mike was fishing out too deep, more than likely. But he said they had 30 crappie and 3 of them in that boat, and just like you said, they were fishing, casting the grubs out there, and then another boy at work told me that him and his buddy went, and he said the first 3 casts, he said they had 3 whoppers. I mean, 17, 18 inches. And he said all we was doing was just in there in about 7 to 10 foot of water. He said just let that thing hit the bottom, so I'd just pick it up and kind of shake it a little bit. And so we were using the trolling motor, just like they were trolling. And he said every now and then I'd bump that thing and said, want to smack it. And he said after we got that third one in, said his buddy said, oh, I forgot, I got to go back home.
Oh, no.
He's supposed to have done something. Anyway, he said, well, heck, I'm not going to stay here by myself. So they loaded the boat up and went back home with them 3 big crappie. But anyway, that's what, from what Mike told me and what I heard from other people and what you heard, that's kind of what's going on right now.
They are catching some bass on down towards the dam down that way.
Yeah. And I did hear some walleye being caught below Watts Bar Dam. Them guys that I work with, a few of them, they won't tell you everything, I promise you. But some of them's fishing off the bank, some of them's fishing out of a boat, and they're going over there right at dark and fishing the wall, or either going 2 or 3 hours before they have to leave for work and fishing. And they're catching some walleye there below.
Didn't bring you none neither, did they?
No, they hadn't brought me none yet, but I told them, I said, I get this boat going, I said, you'll have some company. So that's the biggest thing I've heard of. I mean, as far as fishing reports go this past week, Bill and Max were out on Dale Holler, or Max was out there last week for a couple of days, and he caught some pretty nice fish. I think he had 8 one day, and he started out, caught 13 on the first day, 8 on the second day, and fished a half a day on the third day and caught 5. And which is pretty, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nah.
I'd take 13 every day.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So had 2 or 3 nice smallmouth, which the ones they caught were dandies, but you get one of them 18 to 20 inches, 22 inches on you, you got your hands full. So that was a good report from Dale Hollow last week, and so Max knew the weather was going to turn bad, so he come back home, and don't blame him for that. But that's just to kind of run what I've heard and what's going on. The weather's supposed to be pretty nice Saturday, and everything goes well here at home. I think I might try to make a trip Saturday and try that trolling motor out. So we go from there. Chandler, take us to a sponsor break, will you? Hey folks, here at Tim's Tires, there's the times that they're open. The day, that's 5 days a week. They're open from 8 to 12:30 on Saturdays. All right, folks, we're inside here in the warehouse. Just wanted to give you a quick look at all the tires and stuff they got. And here we are. There's some 4-wheeler tires, lawnmower tires, just a mixture of about any kind of tire you want. So keep that in mind. Then here we get into the light truck, automobiles, that kind of thing. So just walk through here and give you a quick look at what they've got in stock here. I mean, it's it's just, I don't know, man. They must be a couple of thousand tires in here right now, if not more. Sizes, shapes. You truckers, you know the word. This is the place to get your tires for your trucks. And These over here, getting a little bigger sizes, light trucks, heavier automobiles, this kind of thing. And as you can just see back through there, it's just, heck, I don't know, this building's probably about 300 feet, one end to the other, and they're wall to wall. Remember Tim's Tires, folks. That's down here on Highway 27 on your way into Harriman, and get the best deals they're going. So give them a call, price check, whatever you want to, and if you want a special tire that they might not have, you could, they'll definitely get it for you. Tim's Tires. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, it's a good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. All righty, we're back. Want to say hello to a few people. I know Bill's watching. Say hello to him. Charlie Irwin, I know. Hey, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie was worried, sent word to me. He's worried about me dropping out of the show, and I said, well, not yet. I sent him word back. No, I ain't dropped out yet, but I'm back. I just had to get some fill-ins, and they done better than I've done. So I know where to get my replacements at. Oh, Lordy. But we're just going to keep on here for a little bit, and hope Mike and Cricket get things worked out here and get things straightened out. Jeff, we had Jeff Parrott over here last week, and he caught 3 or 4 fish on that crankbait.
Nice ones too.
Yeah, them largemouth he had, them 3 largemouth he's had was dandies, and that's just typical of North Lake. Them son of a guns, whenever it's all about that water temperature, and now I was up there several years ago. I'd been working a job down in Chattanooga at the nuke plant. We finished up the job, and I came home right after Christmas, and I hadn't been fishing in several weeks, so got the boat hooked up, took off up there, and put the boat in, and I caught 33 smallmouth that day, and I quit. I mean, it was just in time to put you running lights on, and one of the best days. Yeah. Good day. I mean, they were all smallmouth, but I was catching them fish in about 28 to 30 foot of water. And I was telling Bill about it the other day. We was talking about it, and but that's just, you know, I had a crankbait laying there on the deck of the boat, and reach and grab that white jig right there. Yeah. And that right there is what I caught them on. Marabou jig, 3/8 ounce. You wouldn't thought of 3/8, but that thing had hit the bottom, and I'd pick it up about twice, and it just bam. I had some nice fish, one of the best days I've ever had on that lake. And we were comparing, you know, like I said, I had a jerk bait and a dadgum crankbait laying there on the deck of the boat, and I throwed them a little bit, but once I seen what I wanted to see, I let.
Why use them if something else is working?
Yeah, that's what I never did pick them back up. I just left them laying there and kept throwing that marabou jig, and like I said, one of the best days I've ever had on that lake. Caught a lot of fish up there, but that day was just special, and it was caught them there in Mill Creek and Pilot Island, and just worked my way up the river. And
I understood him right. He said he's going to get you and Mike in one of them kayaks.
Yeah.
I'm going to be down there when they do. I ain't going to be in one of them, but I'm going to watch this.
Yeah,
And I'll hold the camera because it's going to get wet.
It won't take me but just a few minutes to flip that thing over, and I'll be wet, and I'll be hunting dry clothes.
Ready to go. Okay.
That's a fact. Jeff's into that kayak fishing, does a good job at it. Those guys, those things, I tell you what, buddy, they've got every kind of feature on them in the world. I mean, I run into a guy a few years back. He was putting in down at Caney Creek, and he had a dang battery in his boat, and Jeff's got one too. Has to have to run his electronics, and this guy had one of them little old short trolling motors on his. Once he pushed out off the ramp there, he just laid that thing over, tilted it in the water there, and took off.
They get some major money in them.
They got some major money in them. I'm telling you, buddy. There's no doubt about it. And but they're, for what you're doing with it, there's nothing. You're just not going to, you're going to catch everything within a half a mile of you or a mile of you, and then you're going to fish it hard and fish it going back to the ramp and this, that. I mean, you're going to cover it good.
Yeah.
You're not going to get disgusted and go crank that 250 up and run about 10 miles up the lake and start fishing again. You're going to fish right there where you're at. And but that's that's what it's all about. They fish around those boat ramps and up in those creeks, and they're there. You just got to figure out what it takes to catch them. So
over at the fishing show, they had that group back in the back corner that had the kayaks and stuff, and they was $4,500, $6,000 for a kayak wasn't nothing.
Yeah. And
you was crying about giving that for a trolling motor.
Yeah, and then you turn around and add a lot of them accessories and stuff on there. Yeah, you've got a pretty good little piece of money.
In a hurry.
Yeah, and when you got that much in an investment, you got to use it.
Right side up.
Yeah, exactly right. Don't want to roll one over, but I hear they're pretty stable, and once you get
that's the way he was acting and the way he was casting along that bank and stuff. With that little bit of wind and stuff that was there, it was.
Yeah, sure, exactly right. Good. I'm glad somebody relieved me. Oh,
maybe they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Let's see if I may have this thing. All right, Chandler, which button we pushing? Line 1? All right. Hello, caller.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's Ed?
Pretty good.
Good.
I was going to say, tell Mike we're all pulling for his wife and everything.
Well, I appreciate it. I'll pass it.
Everything goes well.
I'll pass it on to him, Ed. I'm sure he'd appreciate it, and I thank you all for letting me have that moments there, and because we sure need cricket to heal up and get better, for sure.
I wasn't worried about you. You're an old tough nut.
Yeah, I guess so. No, I had the COVID, and where I'm working at, if you've got it, you can't. They don't want you over there infecting everybody else. So, like I said, I had two rough days, one mediocre day, and then this started getting better every day after that.
Yeah. Well, the main reason I'm calling is I want to know how you rig your Ned rig. Do you run it up on the hook?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure last year I fished mine kind of wacky style.
Well, okay, but if I'm fishing that little old 2-inch job, I thread it in from the head and bring the hook out. Now, if I get one of them 4-inch jobs, I can fish it wacky style, and I have even took that. I guess it's a 6-inch, and just hook it in the middle of wacky style and throw it out there, and that kind of thing. The whole key to it on that bait, Ed, I think, is how light a head you can fish it on.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Banks put me on. I think they're 1.5 or 1.10.
Yeah.
Little bitty ones.
You're right.
And do you just let yours go to the bottom and jig it up and down, or
Yeah.
how do you fish that?
Yeah, the first thing I fish throwing into the bank until I figure out that them fish are out there in that 25, 30 foot of water or on a drop. And at that point, I just throw it out there and let it hit the bottom before I ever move it. You know, when that line quits pulling off my reel, I know it's on the bottom, and I'll just ease it up. And most of the time, one's already on it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. 'Cause I done pretty good last year with that.
Yeah. I don't have a bit of problem with it, and but that's the way I fish it. But I do if it's just fishing that little old 2-inch job, I'll rig it, slide it up
Run
on
it
the
up on the
shank.
worm.
Yeah, and when I get into the bigger ones, I rig it wacky style, and then I take them little old 4-inch, 5-inch worms and thread them up on the hook shank too, because it's sitting there with the tail straight up, and but I have caught more fish on that little old 2.5-inch green pumpkin, I guess.
Well, this is what my sister's son, my nephew is. March 31st, he's going to fish a Bassmaster tournament up there on Cherokee. As a co-angler, with the bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's all excited.
I've done that. Well, I've had several co-anglers fishing those tournaments over the years, and my wife was telling me that TWRA was on the TV last week or week before last. I didn't get to see it, but they were stocking fish in Cherokee, but I never did find out what kind.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you heard anything about it or not. Was it the rockfish or stripers or?
That Tennessee Outdoors had it on there. They've been doing a lot of trout stocking.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was the same show or not.
Yeah. All right. It might have been. And,
See.
like I said, I don't know for sure what they put in there, but they were in 3 or 4 different places according to the news people.
What I heard about that was that Dale Holler's producing, I think they said 200,000 stocking trout a year.
I don't
Out of down there.
Yeah.
That they're bringing around to all the lakes.
Well, that sounds
Like I
good.
say, that may not be in the same news thing, but that was.
Right. When you been fishing, Ed, last time?
Son, I ain't been 2 weeks.
Shucks,
It's been
far.
cold. I can't hardly stand to get outside.
Yeah, well, I understand that part of it. I sure do. I hadn't been in several weeks, but I'm looking forward to maybe getting out there this Saturday, if possible. But I think the thing to do with that Ned rig, Ed, is like I said, I hate that little old hook. It's in that 1/10 ounce head.
Yeah.
It's not very big, but I've caught several good fish on it. I mean, I don't know how they're staying hooked up,
I think
but they
that's
are.
what Bill was fishing
Yeah,
up there at night when
Yeah.
he started catching him on it.
yeah, that little.
Well, that's what Mike told me.
Yeah. So we just stay at it, Ed. And I mean, that's all we can do,
Yeah. Well, hey, you tell Mike we'll pray for him and to hang in there.
All right, Ed. I appreciate you, buddy, and I'll pass the word to him.
Okay, man.
Thanks for calling, Ed.
Okay, bye.
All right. I've got them Ned baits here, I think. Let me step right over here and take it. I may and may not have. I don't know. I can't remember. Well, there's the swim baits. No, I didn't bring them. I thought I did. But anyway, there's, it's like any other bait that you go to the bait store and buy. There's all kinds of different configurations, size-wise, color-wise, weights of the heads, the lead heads you're using, that kind of thing. So that's just kind of the way it is.
Got to fish them and get your confidence built
You
up.
got,
there.
yeah. I mean, Max Meredith got me into fishing. I didn't think much about it, so I went by Edgemore and picked up 4 or 5 bags and some heads and stuff. And then the next trip we went to Dale Holler. Why, I had a rod or 2 rigged up with it, and I hated to lay down my yellow and chartreuse fly, but I did, and picked that Ned rig up, and heck, I made 4 or 5 casts, and I caught one, and I said, son of a gun. So I kept fishing it the rest of the day, and I figured, I saw right quick, yeah, they'll catch fish.
That they'll work.
Yeah, they'll work, Jeff. There ain't no 2 ways about it. So now I've got yellow chartreuse fly on one rod, and Ned rig on another rod, and a swim bait on another rod, and something else on another rod. So I figure if I can't catch them on them 4 different baits, I ain't gonna catch them. Oh Lord. But yeah, that's changing things out and this, that, and the other sure makes a difference sometimes. Don't get stuck on one dad blame thing, unless you are catching fish on it, and if you are, stick with it until they quit biting. Then change up again.
And some crazy configurations.
That ain't no yeah, that's a fact. There's no doubt about it.
Just
I mean, shoot, you've been with me and you've been with Mike and up there in the night in the summertime, and we're fishing. I'll never, we got. That one night we was up there and you got down the boat and tied some kind of thing on. Heck, we hadn't had but maybe couple of bites for the first 2 hours. And next thing I know, you had 3 or 4 in the boat. And I said, let me see that thing you're fishing with, And it was just a higher jig, but it had crazy. It was a burnt orange or something in it, and they just was eating it up, buddy. So I said, I better change my bait too.
because that's the only one I had. Mike taught me that.
Yeah.
Just take one.
I just take one, yeah. It just takes one whenever you get the right color on there. That's a fact. Let me say this. Edgemore Outdoors. I bought a couple of, I've got 4 of them.
A couple 4?
Yeah, I've got 4 of them, but I sent, Moonlight is the name of it, up at Jonesboro. I'll catch those calls. I bagged those things up, and let me see what Chandler's got. All right. Well, that's good. Hello, caller.
Hey, Steve, what you doing?
Buddy, Charlie, I'm just I'm trying to sell fishing baits. You don't know anybody want to buy any, do you?
We're going to have to sell it to Jeff Parrott, I believe. He's going to speak down here in my honey hole.
I heard a little bit about that on the grapevine there at work over the week.
Yeah, I'm going to put me a net up across that holler down there, keep them devilish canoes out of there.
And I know, and you know Jeff's watching, so we'll hear about it.
Yeah, I put him back to singing.
Oh, yeah, okay. Boy, Jeff Parrott, you're listening to all that, ain't you? What do you want him to do, get his guitar back out, Charlie?
Do what now?
You want him to get his guitar back out?
Yeah, we'll put him back on the road again, like Willie Nelson. Hey, good to see you back, buddy. I see you heard you under the weather there.
I was. I sure was. I got better. I didn't, I didn't want to take a chance on infecting Jeff Phillips here or Jeff Parrott or Mike, and so I stayed at home and done what they said for about 10 days and got rid of it.
Jeff done both of them Jeffs. They done a good job for you.
Well, I watched them. I thought they done a real good job.
Call in a couple of times there.
Yeah, I did.
He had to keep us in line, tell us what to say, but we did. We can repeat what he says real good.
Yeah, I was just going to call and tell you I seen in the paper today where that big Master Classic's going to come back to Knoxville in 23.
Yeah. I mean, shucks, odds, and them, when he won over there. It just set the stage. They'd be foolish not to to come back.
That thing brought in over $31 million
Dollars.
over
That's your
there
money.
in the economy, you know.
I know it. It's a wonderful thing. It
sure
is. And shucks, you and I remember when they had that over at the World's Fair that year.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sure do. So
Yeah, they started having them up here in Campbell County, all that, and up there at Morristown, you know, and
yeah.
they figured out how much money it was bringing in. They're trying to get them every year now.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand. You
Yep.
know, fishing is just unreal, Charlie, to what it was 30 years ago for me
Oh,
and
gosh,
you.
yeah. I wouldn't have never dreamed it'd been this big.
I mean, it's shucks. It's everywhere in the high schools, elementary schools, and then they recruit you in these colleges. And
Well, I'd have given anything if they'd have had that when I was in school.
boy, me and you both.
Yeah.
Me and you both. I guarantee it. It's
Hey, I wanted to say something about Mike's wife there, too. Wish her well and send her prayers.
appreciate that, Charlie. Really do.
Yeah, I hate that for him.
Yeah. They're just trying to figure out what the problem is right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll give her our best wishes.
all right, buddy. I really
wanted to
appreciate
call, welcome you back on the show.
it. Well, I'm glad to be back on the show, but I sure would like to get a go of fishing.
Yeah, it's a shame you didn't get to go all that time off.
I know it. Well, that gun weather was so bad, and I didn't want to take a chance on getting out.
Exactly, yeah.
I told them boys at work today, I said, if I'd known what I know now, the minute I got sick, I'd stayed home for 2 days, and then I'd had me somebody with me, and I'd been in Florida.
I heard that.
I'd went somewhere, lower Georgia, Florida, somewhere down there and fished for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. All righty.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get back to everything, Ian. I just wanted to welcome you back and rib old Jeff a little bit.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you, Charlie. Thank you much, buddy.
All right, have a good one.
All right, see you later.
Bye-bye.
All right. All righty. Good to hear from them folks. I'll tell you what I did do. I was talking about that black light. I bought some black lights over there. I've had 3 or 4 different kinds over the years, and my dad and Bill Nichols was probably the first ones to use a light at night on Norris Lake. Dad got them from Okie Bug years ago, and it was just a white fluorescent 12-volt bulb. Wasn't no black light or anything like that. And they had a big article. They took Sam Venable from the Knoxville Journal up to the Norris Lake with them that night, and he wrote a big article. But anyway, that was the start of the lights. Back then it was if you turned on the flashlight, you wanted to be down the bottom of the boat, or at least we thought that. That was, you didn't shine no light on the bank or anything like that. You stayed in the dark. Well, when they done that show, Dad and Bill, with those white lights, well, heck, it just changed everything. Then, back in those days, they had these discos that had the black lights in them. Well, heck, it didn't take string long to figure out how to make that fluorescent blue line. Well, that just changed it even more. And so, we started, and everybody had every kind of black light you could think of. So the bottom line is I bought some from Edgemore up there, and I sent 2 of them back. A couple of the bulbs had blowed at them, and got them back the day before yesterday. All I can tell you is if you're going to buy some black lights, go up to Edgemore Outdoors and get those moonlights that they sell. I think you'll be well pleased. And I'm just tickled to death. Those things had some warranty on them, and all I had to do was ship them up there, and they shipped them right back 2 days later. I done stuck them in the boat. And,
In other words, you're getting ready.
Yeah, well, I put them in the plug in there on the boat to make sure that they were going to work. And
When you was trying out the trolling motor.
No,
Making sure it worked on spotlight.
I done this yesterday when I got home. They was wiped. Sure, he said, your lights come back. And I said, they did. So I went down in the basement and plugged it into the boat. Yeah, they put new bulbs in it or whatever, a new card of bulbs. And that's, man, tickled me to death. So. But, night fishing's a big thing anymore, and a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't. We like it in the summertime because after about 11, 12 o'clock, you pretty much just a few other fishermen, you got the lake to yourself. So we I like the night fishing, and you don't have to put up with the heat. Now the bugs do get bad first trip or two. You better have some bug spray.
Keep that bug spray handy.
Yeah, that's a fact. Let me, right quick, Reynolds Racing and Marine, talk to Glenn today. His whole thing is this. He said, if you're thinking about getting a Death Finder, a Lowrance, or whatever it might be, just to go out there and find them, they're really not available. I mean, you got to wait on it to be, to get here. And it's just like everything else. There's not a whole lot of people. Manufacturing is down. Manufacturing of all the Lowrance units is down, along with Garmin's and everybody else. And it, not just the fish finders or electronics, it's everything else. So his thing is this: if you're thinking you're going to need something or want something in the next little bit, you might want to get an early start, so they can find it for you.
That's what they told me up there the other day.
Is that what they tell you?
He said, if you want a boat, you better go get you one.
Yeah.
Or you ain't gonna have it.
Yeah.
Or any accessory.
Yeah, that's
they're getting scarce.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. And so there you go. If you're thinking about wanting something, another boat or some electronics or a trolling motor, you want to get an early start. Tracking it down, getting it wrapped up, or where you can get it on the boat and use it. So, but that was his big thing, was getting things in. When he gets an engine down there anymore, it's just if one shows up, he lets the word out. Next thing you know, the phone's ringing, and he's got 3 or 4 people wanting it. He says, first man there with the money. And that's all what's all you can do till you get another one. Same situation. I'll tell you what, Jeff's got some baits on the board over here, and we're going to slide that over here in the middle here where we can take a look at them. And I'm going to show you something right here. This plug right here, Chandler's going to bring the close-up camera. He is all over. I tell you, he don't miss a lick now. He's into this stuff here right off the get-go, and that kind of thing. Let's push it back out. The fish up here in the front's got it knocked down. I'll scoot him over. Yeah, like that. All right, Chandler, we'll wait for you to get ready here, and then we'll talk about these baits whenever you get set up, old buddy. All right, good deal. I just picked these baits up at random for one reason, to show you. This is some of the cold weather, water temps 45 and up, kind of the stuff that I would, carry in the boat with me. If I were going fishing tomorrow, this is what I'd have in some form or fashion. But I did pick these 2 plugs up right here. They weren't in the boat, and they probably never will be. Both of those are Big O's. Fred Young autographs, and I won't let them go. Yeah, there you go. I've got a couple of more. They're not as in good a shape as these 2 is, but they're awful close. But I figured 2 was enough. But that's the old Big O plug that Fred Young made, and back in the day, my mom saved egg cartons and gave them to for Dad. He'd take them to Bill, and Bill'd take them over to Fred Young, and that's how you carried. You had 6 plugs in every egg carton, and that was and the more egg cartons you had, that was how you rated the fishermen from the non-fishermen. I mean, it was just a statue thing. You had, so Dad had a big old aluminum box in that little old Norris crap boat we had, and 6 or 8 egg cartons, and Bill had 25 egg cartons in his boat, and I mean, it was just filled with those big old plugs of every kind, every color. They made small ones and bigger ones and this kind of thing. So you know, they were very popular back in the day. This right here, I got some jerk baits up here, and I like to fish a jerk bait. I just like that twitch, 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 and then just let that thing set, and next thing you know, they've one done sucked it down and he's gone. But you know, wintertime fishing, like right now, these especially Dale Holler, this is one of the top getters. That chartreuse or yellow with a chartreuse strip in the back, and you know, you never want to forget about your crawdad, especially smallmouth fishing. I like to fish a brown and chartreuse, brown with a little orange, or just a solid brown type deal. And then, you know, like I said, had a heck of a trip years back on Norris with that marabou jig, and I still throw it today at times when I can get a bite on it. And then the new thing for me is these swim baits. I like to fish those real well also. We had a heck of a trip a couple of years back on Dale Hollow with that little old 2.8 on that 1/10 ounce head that I got at Edgemore for the Ned rig. Was throwing that little old 2.8 chartreuse and blue, and had a heck of a trip on it. So and then you got your normal crankbaits, and right here's a couple. This little old bait right here, if I'm not mistaken, heck, little Petey's. We've got some plug makers in our area that's makes a heck of a crankbait, you know. So, but that little Petey's is, I've got several of those, and they will catch a lot of fish. This plug here is a little bigger size, and I love that plug right there. It's crawdad color, thin side. It'll run about 10 foot deep. I love that plug right there. I've caught a lot of fish on ones like it, painted the same way. So the jerk baits, you got the thing about the jerk baits is this jerk bait right here, if you look at the bill, it's a real short bill. This plug right here is only going to get 5-6 foot deep. Then you turn right around and get to this next one down here, got a deep bill on it, and if I made a long enough cast with it, I don't know that plug probably wouldn't get 10 to 15 foot deep. I'll turn it loose, and I like the color of that plug there also. I think it's a good clear water plug. I like Norris. You get on Watts Bar, the water's got a little more color to it. You might have a chartreuse one on, but that's what I've rigged up or just throw together to bring over tonight to let you know what I'm thinking and that kind of thing for this cold weather fishing. This little old bait right here is another good little old bait. It's just a plastic minnow. I forgot who even made those things. But it just looks like a little old minnow, you know. And I've caught some fish on those things over the years, at this time of year. But it just, you know, you just try different things, Jeff. I mean, you know, you always got your favorite, and well, heck, this is what I caught them on last year, so I'm gonna start out with it, and or the year before or year before that, and till you figure out what's going on. But the water clarity and the muddy water and the cold temperatures has a bearing on how you do this time of year. The cold temperature, it's a deal. Fished a tournament on Atomic Bass Club. I had a tournament on North, and the temperature that day was 28 degrees, the highest it got. The line was froze up all day long. Ice, and that's all I done was pick the daggum ice balls and backlashes out. And
Mike loved every minute of it.
Yeah, Mike loved every minute of it. But that's part of it, And but I had 4 nice fish. Should have had 6, but I had 4 dandy bites. I had 2 more that I missed. I hooked and they got off, and had 4 fish weighed almost 17 pounds, and then 4 smallmouth. Caught them on the dad blame sidewinder spoon. Yeah, I'm serious as a heart attack. Fished in it 4 hours, 5 hours, hadn't had a bite. Pulled up there on this one spot, made a cast, caught the first one, went about 20 yards, caught another one, and then got out on the point and caught 2 and missed 2 more. So, on a sidewinder spoon, silver, half ounce. And I throwed everything in the boat up to that point. So, you never know. I mean, it's just one of them things, I said, dadgummit. I said, I'll get that spoon out and try it. Sure enough, didn't take long. I caught the first one. But I'd fished for 6 hours and never had a bite. Oh, Lord, and I'd throw the grubs and everything that you could think of. And, I just got on the right thing right quick, and it paid off. So, all righty, Chandler, take us to a break, will you? All right. Hey, folks, we're over here at Edgemore Outdoors and got Vance back here. They've got a new selection of, what is this called now, Vance?
This is all queen tackle.
Queen tackle, okay.
It's all tungsten. They got tungsten weights, flipping weights. They got drop shot weights. All the jigs are all tungsten heads. There's flipping jigs, football jigs. There's swim jigs down here too. That's all of it's tungsten. There's shaky heads right here.
Okay,
That's
all tungsten stuff. Well, Vance got my attention with one thing. You can take any jig. Vance, get some of those bills. The chatterbait bills?
These aren't tungsten, but you can take this little chatterbait here and you can make a jig or a swim bait,
any
kind of head.
You're throwing and put a shaky head on it.
Yep.
Son of a gun. I was just wondering how long that was going to take.
They've got different sizes in the blades there. There's silver, gold, and black.
Silver, gold, and black, different sizes in the blades. And like you said, you can take a white jig that you're flipping and put that dang bill on it, and you got you a chatterbait.
That's right.
Well, I wish me and you had thought of that. Folks, listen, do get by here, Edgemore Outdoors. Just swing around here, look at, gosh, I mean, man, the racks are hanging full of stuff, line, oil, just everything in the world here at Edgemore Outdoors. Jim and his crew would be more than glad to help you find what you need back here on the thing. I mean, it's just I just hadn't had a chance to get over here. I've been wanting to come by and make a new film advertisement for Edgemore Outdoors, and we just thank you for their support here over the years, keeping the show going, and it's just row after row of tackle, baits, plastics, crappie stuff, catfish stuff. They've got live bait, reels, rods, I mean, it's just, if you're looking for it, more than likely they have it over here. So do come by, stop in here and visit with Edgemore Outdoors, and I'm pretty sure you'll be satisfied and they can help you find what you need. All righty. That's great. Thank you, Edgemore Outdoors there for that. I will pass this along, and I found that out from Jeff. Sonny Lee passed away. Jeff, what'd you say?
I believe it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
I had the paper laying at the house and Ralph left it. But Jordy, I believe, said he was 79. I believe that's what they said.
79.
Retired from the fire department there in Knoxville in 30 years.
Yeah. A heck of a good fisherman. He and my dad competed against one another and with one another a long time ago. The old Atomic Bass Club had they were the second bass club to have a charter in the state of Tennessee. The guys in Dayton beat them by a couple of days. Bill's always hated to talk about that. He never did like that. He said we should have been the first ones. But anyway, then they got a bass club over in Loudon, and they had they call it a grudge match every year, and they'd go over. The Atomic could go over there and at Loudon and fish one year against them, and then they'd come over here to Milton Hill or Watts Bar and fish, on the home lakes over here. And Sonny Lee was a big one. Then Joe he was, I don't know, 12 years old, something like that, maybe 15. Anyway, we got drawn together in one of the Northcraft tournaments there. But the first time I ever got to fish with Joe, and he and I both wound up, I think, with about 10, 11 pounds apiece, something along there. We just, he'd catch one, I'd catch one, I'd catch one, he'd catch one. So, and we just had a ball, and then turned right around a few years later, we got drawn together again, and the same situation.
Joe and Jeff's nice guys.
They are.
They
dandies, and their daddy, I always thought a whole lot of him. He was a nice guy too, and I was hated to hear that about him passing. But I wanted to let the viewers know, I'm sure Ed Galton, a lot of the older guys, Charlie there, that were around during the Sonny's heydays of fishing, and I just wanted to pass that on because I hadn't heard it until you told me before the show started. Anyway, all right, folks, we're going to sign off here. Hopefully next week we'll have some fish. Jeff, you have to get Mike's wife.
Mike will be sitting here.
Yeah, Mike will be, well, hopefully he is. That means cricket's better than you and him have been crappie fishing. So,
Be cold and rainy now, dang it.
I know, cold and rainy.
He probably talked me into it, though.
I'd say he probably will. Anyway, folks, God bless you all. Be safe. Be cautious about the falling in the lake in the cold water. Keep your life jacket handy. I like to put mine on. Wintertime, it just helps keep the warmth in, knocks the wind off of you, and you've already got it on there. Something goes wrong. Don't have to worry about it. Exactly right. So do be safe, and if you're out there on the water, and things happen quick in the wintertime. So God bless you all. See you next week. Hey folks, I'm here at Reynolds Racing and Marine, 620 Ray Street here in Kingston. Got Mr. Glenn Reynolds here with us. Glenn, tell us about this beautiful Bullet boat sitting here.
Okay, this is the latest deal. It's called SST. It's 21 foot long. Has a lot of key features inside. It's got three coolers, so you keep your beverages plenty cool. Got a little wider front end up front. And it's got the recessed foot pedal for the new Spotlight trolling motors that I'm going to try to sell Steve one.
Yes, sir.
And it's a pretty silver and red.
Boy, it's beautiful. It really is.
Got the new 250R.
250R on that thing, folks. Man, this thing looks sharp.
That's just one boat. Of course, we got it in the background here.
Yeah.
We've got several side-by-sides.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then,
Oh, there's the big 5-seater. That's a 5-seater. Man, dadgone it,
so we
Glenn.
got a lot of side by sides.
Yes, sir.
And then we've got, of course, this is
Allison.
this is Allison color Pro Series.
Yeah.
It's called a Pro Elite,
Pro Elite. Okay.
and it's got, I guess here is some of the different pictures.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Got a TV screen in the front, Glenn.
Yeah. And then it raises it up because it's called an E-pad.
Right.
And Allison has a patent on this, I think. And you can raise it up where you can, if you're a tall guy, you can still see
it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's sort of unique. And then, of course, we've got the Allisons and the bullets on this side.
Right. Oh, man. We've got the twin yellows here, don't we?
Got the twin yellows. One's
Yes,
yellow
sir.
and white, one's yellow and black.
Yeah.
This one will be in Mercury's brochure. I went down and made some pictures at Joe
Oh.
River Lake, and it should be coming up pretty soon in the brochure.
Right, right.
And of course, it has the E-pad, it has a spot lock. I call it Ultrex.
Right.
Now this is called a that's one RDC. It's a raised deck
Right.
wheel console, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And
It's one of my favorites.
it's a beautiful boat.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And now it's got the new 300R on it.
$300, man.
But we can mix and match any engine combination just about you want.
Yeah.
Some people want 300, some wants 200, some wants 250s.
Yeah.
And but we're normally selling $250 and $300. You say.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, Glenn. Glenn, you want to mention something about the pontoon boat sitting over there?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Got a veranda pontoon boat here. Man, that thing is beautiful.
And I guess over here we get a close-up.
Yeah.
Everybody else has got plywood bottom. It's got what we call a cooling slot. It's all aluminum. It never soak up any moisture or water.
Yeah.
And probably last, no reason why it wouldn't last a lifetime or two, you know?
Yep.
And we can get up in it and
Country Fresh Foods. You may not know the name, but you definitely know the taste. Our homemade fudge is shipped all over the country. Its quality is unmatched, and it's made right here in Oliver Springs. But you don't have to travel all over to enjoy it. You can get it right here at our retail store. Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts. The highest quality fudge in a countless variety of flavors. And we also carry a variety of candy and unique gifts for you to enjoy. Come enjoy the taste you have loved for years at Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts in Oliver Springs, a division of Country Fresh Foods.
Let's go fishing. You know it's really great. Let's go fishing. In the rivers and on the lakes. Let's go fishing. It's easy when you try. Floating on the water with good old Steve in mind. Floating on the water with good old Steve in mind.